One part PopCap, one part shooter, and all parts crazy. Garden Warfare 2 is what happens when you take an over-the-top idea like Plants vs. Zombies to its logical extreme. Put bluntly, this game gives zero fucks. It doesn't waste time with hangups like logic or reason. It's designed solely around the principle of what would be fun for the player. A lot has changed since the original title, however, so before you go paying full price for a brand new copy, let's go over what's being offered this time around. To begin with, there's a surprising amount of single-player content here. It's easy to just dismiss this as training for the multiplayer, and I won't lie, it serves that purpose pretty well, especially for the cooperative modes. But there are also plenty of scenarios and mission types here that you simply will not encounter anywhere else. It even hints at play types like bounty hunting that I'm sincerely hoping will be released later as fully fledged online modes. It's also the only way you can unlock the game's survival mode, which has you blasting off into the depths of infinity in a robot dinosaur so you can fight time gnomes. Because video games. This is dumb and awesome, and I love it. It's that special kind of fun I thought only games like Broforce and No More Heroes could achieve. My only sticking point with survival is that you can only play it with friends. There is no current way to queue up with randoms, which is kind of a bummer for loners like me that can't even get past the third round. On the flip side though, multiplayer comes in both the cooperative and competitive variety. Garden/Graveyard Ops has you fighting alongside up to 3 other players to defend a point. There are 10 waves you'll have to survive, and every 5 waves, a slot machine is spun to see which boss characters you'll have to deal with that round. You might also randomly get a special condition added to a wave, such as not suffering any player knockouts or finishing the round quickly. This means the game plan is constantly changing, and depending on your role in the group, you may find yourself having to fight on several different fronts at a time. The competitive modes are just as frantic, encouraging teamwork, synergy, and taking advantage of your character's strengths. You'll fight to control points, take down the enemy team, blow up objectives with gnome bombs, or any mix of the former. And win or lose, you'll always walk away from your match with coins. Coins are used to purchase a variety of different items, helpers being one of them. Helpers are consumables that act like extra characters and can help swing a match in your favor. Customization items such as hats and other accessories are also found in these packs, but the majority of what you'll be spending money on are the unlockable combatants. See, Garden Warfare 2 has almost doubled the amount of playable characters from the last game, with 3 new classes on each side. Citron is a living tank with a laser cannon, stun grenades, and a deployable shield. He can also turn into a rolling form that gets him back into the action quickly. Rose is a technical character with homing thorns and several crowd control spells, including the ability to turn enemy zombies into goats. Finally, Colonel Corn is all about burst, with a rapid-fire primary, missiles, and a jump attack that can get you out of a tight spot. On the zombie side, Super Brains debuts as the series' first melee-centric character. His abilities deal a lot of damage very quickly, and he has plenty of health to help him get in close. Captain Deadbeard can switch between a short-range shotgun and a long-range sniper rifle at will, as well as pilot a parrot drone to harass the enemy team from above. And lastly, we have the Imp, who's small, quick, and elusive, but also very squishy. He can deal a lot of damage and harass enemies like no other class can, but until you summon his mech, you better make sure the plants never get a shot in edgewise. You can play as any of these classes or the 8 original ones right from the get-go, but as stated before, each one has upwards of 4 to 6 unlockable variants that can augment their abilities, stats, and general function in a fight. Better yet, each one has their own separate level bar, making each one a real treat to unlock. And best of all, the number of coins you get from any mode is generally higher compared to the original Garden Warfare, especially if you play cooperatively, meaning this system feels much less grindy than before. This is nice considering that, like the first game, Garden Warfare 2 launched without microtransactions, only to patch them in later on. I think it's shady as hell when a game you already paid full price for asks for more money, so if you're averse to such things and feel like they're distracting and detracting, know that they are in here and that the temptation will always be just around the corner. That's not the only thing that got patched in though, bear in mind, as it seems Garden Warfare 2 will be continuing the series' trend of releasing new maps and costumes for free as time goes on. It also nerfed Rose to a tolerable level of annoyance, meaning PopCap is listening to their community and are more than willing to make changes where necessary. Think about that. This game is already $20 cheaper than most big budget games made these days, and on top of everything I've mentioned so far, it's gonna get even more content for free down the road for years to come. And that's not even going into things like the daily quests, the prestige system for high-level characters, and all the little secrets in the overworld. So if you are looking for a title with some serious shelf life, this is definitely it. Garden Warfare 2 is many things. It's colorful, expressive, and doesn't take itself too seriously. It's one of the most feature-complete games EA has produced in the past few years. And it was almost an example of how well a AAA premium-priced game could fare without resorting to microtransactions. But all the politics aside, let's not forget that it's also a fantastic shooter to boot. And more than anything else, I'd say that is worth dropping your money on.